Now, as we get ready for the wild card round of the NFL playoffs, believe it or not, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 guys that are going to be starting playoff games for the very first time. Now, you could throw Teddy Bridgewater in there, but he actually has a single playoff start. So you got to take him and take him out of the conversation because the name of this segment is, as Foreigner sang many years ago, Cody.
It feels like the first time.
Craig Jennings, your turn.
It feels like the first time.
Very first time. We're going on the road. All right, so these are the quarterbacks that are playing in their very first playoff game. We'll have a quick discussion about our expectation for how they perform. Let's start right here in New York. As Mr. Wonderful Danny Jones, Danny Dimes, who has made it through an entire season for the first time in his career without getting injured. Also went from like 16 fumbles to 3 fumbles. He's not turning the ball over the way he used to. And he's very much become a mature quarterback in the NFL, playing against Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. The game is at 4:25. But before we talk about the Cousins curse, Danny Jones' winning percentage at games at 4 o'clock or later is actually worse than Kirk Cousins. Expectations of the first-timer, Danny Jones.
I honestly expect him to come out and play really well. He's had some experience, obviously, playing them about a month ago in the same stadium environment. Be a little bit different, but not so much. And he has a really good coach that understands what he does well and puts him in really good situations to where he can be successful. I look for Daniel Jones to come out, lean on what they do well, which is run the ball, get the ball to Saquon Barkley, and allow his receivers that we all really have not talked about because they haven't been household names, but he can make it happen. I actually like Daniel Jones in his first.
Yeah, there's a guy on the Giants. He's a journeyman wide receiver who's played his ass off the last month. His last name is Hodgkins. You never heard of him. The dude can play. And he's made himself now. He's going to have a nice little NFL career. But that is a name to just put in the back of your brain because I know most people never heard of the kid unless you're a New York Giants fan. But I'm with you. I'm not saying they win because I think it's going to be a one-score game, come down to the last 5 minutes because that's the way the Vikings play. That's the way the Giants play. That's the way they played about a month ago in Minnesota. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants won. I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota won. It is a legitimate close your eyes, flip a coin, let me know if it's heads or tails. I think Daniel Jones is going to be fine.
I do too.
I don't think he's going to be the reason they lose. So I think he will accord himself very, very well because the building doesn't scare him. The Vikings defense doesn't scare him. And he's now got 4 months under his belt of really competent football.
Look, he should be very well equipped to go into the U.S. Bank Stadium and put forth a great effort to give his team a chance to win. That's all they're going to ask for him. They're not going to say, hey, Daniel Jones, we need you to go and win this game for us. That's not who he is. I'm not saying he can't do that, but that's not what he's been asked to do all season long. He's been asked to steady the ship and make sure you don't hurt us. Help us.
All right, let's go to quarterback number 2. It's kind of weird because he's only played like 5 regular season games, let alone a playoff game. But Brock Purdy is playing in his first game against Seattle, and I can't think of a better matchup for the first round for an inexperienced quarterback who has played his ass off, hasn't lost a game yet. But your expectations of Brock Purdy?
What's interesting, out of all the quarterbacks that are on this list, he's probably in the best situation with the least amount of experience. Like, because of how great his team is defensively and offensively, the pieces just fit what he's been asked to do. I don't think Brock Purdy takes a step back. I don't think the moment's going to be too big. I do think it's going to be more of a contest than what everybody is possibly anticipating because it's the divisional opponent. So but that doesn't mean he's not going to still play well. I think he's.
No, I think the train keeps on chewing. I think if he was going to be nervous, it would have been his first game.
Yes.
And now that you got 5 wins under your belt, and the offense is rocking and rolling, and Deebo Samuel comes back, and the Seattle defense ain't that good, and your defense is badass. I think Brock Purdy will probably throw the ball 20 times, be like 14 out of 20, buck 60, couple scores, and CMC and Ayuk and Debo will take care of business. And I think it's probably going to be like a 30-point win for them.
Really?
Yeah, we are witnessing a dominating football team right now. And Seattle does not have the defense to withstand that offense. And I don't think Seattle's got the offense to do anything against that defense, which brings me to quarterback number 3. Sing it, Cody.
Geno Smith. I know. I'm not singing the song because I know what you're doing. You just did a whole thing setting up your hatred for Geno.
The first time.
I knew it.
Imagine being an NFL quarterback for a decade and this being your first playoff game. But that's the story with Geno Smith, who, by the way, more than doubled his base salary in incentives this year. All well-deserved. He gets all the accolades and a 30-point drubbing coming his way against the Niners. He would throw 3 interceptions and have a fumble. And we're going to remind ourselves, don't give that guy $20 million. That being said, I'm only one guy with one voice. You have a thought, too, and you played the game. Will Geno Smith impress in his playoff debut? No? Okay, let's move on.
Look, Geno, you got a task that's tough. It's daunting, my friend. But
he's going up against a badass defense.
He really is, but he can still make himself a lot of money. I think he's already made himself a lot of money.
Listen, if I'm Seattle, outside of pulling off some type of trade, and there are about a dozen veteran quarterbacks available, I don't know why you'd go look elsewhere. He proved that in the Pete Carroll system. He is a more than competent quarterback. He set the franchise record for passing yards. I'm not saying I'd give him 5 years and $100+ million, but I'd give him a 2-year deal with an option for sure.
For sure. He's played that well. And in this playoff game, I expect him to continue to play well. Look, this team, they're ball hawks. They get after the quarterback. They make you extremely uncomfortable if you're at the quarterback position. He has a tough task. His offensive line has a tough task. His entire offense has a tough task.
It's going to be a beatdown.
It's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a beatdown.
Okay.
But
it's going to be a beatdown.
If it is a beatdown, it's because Geno Smith wasn't able to get the ball into his guys' hands.
If it is a beatdown, can I have that shirt to burn it?
Oh, come on. That's a beautiful shirt.
No, I'm not giving you the shirt.
Oh, come on. No?
Greg.
All right, fine. Keep the ugly shirt.
Craig, we realized something. You've been right about just about everything all year long except one thing.
What's that?
Geno Smith. Every step of the way, you've been wrong about Geno, and you're wrong about him right now based on your full track record with Geno Smith.
Good, then I will expect you to pick Seattle on Friday when you put your loser picks out there.
We're not saying all that.
Yeah, that's what I would expect from you. All right, let's move on. Number 4, I can't wait to see this guy play in his first playoff game because he, in a lot of people's minds, is the heir apparent. He's our generation's Dan Marino. Dan never won a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert and the Chargers, into the playoffs. And this is supposed to be the coming of age now for one of the great young quarterbacks. And Josh Allen has won playoff games. Patrick Mahomes has won Super Bowl, of course. It's time now. Joe Burrow's gone to a Super Bowl. This kid's got to win a playoff game, I think.
Yeah,
they play the Jaguars.
They do play the Jaguars. The thing with Justin Herbert is the expectations are set because of who he came in with and what the other quarterbacks that are just his age, what they've already been able to accomplish. And this is his first time. We're talking about first time. He has the receivers. He has the offensive line. He has the weapons behind him. There's almost no excuse built in for why, other than Brandon Staley at times, Justin Herbert, you just got to show us what you're made of in the postseason.
Now, you hope Mike Williams is 100% healthy. He hurt his back in that game on Sunday. It's a big deal. Huge. And you can actually track the Chargers' success to getting his wide receivers back on the field. I mean, that was instrumental because this team also got blown out by the Jaguars in week 2. I think it was 38-10 Jacksonville. And then Jacksonville lost every game for a month and a half. So we'll see what happens, which brings me to the flip side of the coin, of course. Trevor Lawrence. You could say that last week was a playoff game. It wasn't officially one, but it was one in that if you lost, you didn't advance. If you won, you did. And let's be honest, that Jaguar offense was not good.
It wasn't, but I think that, like I said yesterday, that was the best scenario for them because they got a little bit of playoff experience, the feel, the atmosphere, your jitters. We saw that clearly with Trevor Lawrence. I think this week he bounces back. He has a great performance. And I'm honestly going with the Jags in this one.
Excuse me.
Cody?
You don't believe that.
He's going with the
Jags. With the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wait.
I love it.
Wait, we're acting like the Chargers are just all consistent now all of a sudden.
They look pretty good.
The last month they've been one of the best teams in football. to be fair. I know they lost to the Denver Broncos, but they have looked, that offense has been clickety-clackety.
What about that defense? By the way, this is a complimentary sport.
That's it.
Wow. There it is.
I'm going in.
There it is.
Listen, Jacksonville beat them once, so from a confidence standpoint, I'm sure Doug Peterson's saying it's the same team. Same team coming to our building, take care of business. But the Jags did not look right against the Tennessee Titans. And if you want to write that off as third time they're facing a division opponent, I respect that. Or second time, pardon me. I respect that. But, yeah, Jacksonville's not winning this game. It's enough that they got in, and let's slow our roll on the Jaguar coronation if we can.
So Justin Herbert's going into Jacksonville, getting his first playoff
That's
win.
exactly correct. Matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, Justin Herbert gets his first win. Brock Purdy gets his first win.
Oh, that's
Daniel Jones gets his first win.
Woo!
3 first-timers dancing on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.